Stand by the Thames today and you'll see joggers and glass towers. Rewind 175 years to 1850 and you'd find something else entirely. A river choked with coal barges, gasworks and factory chimneys lining both banks. London has just become the largest city on Earth. 2.5 million souls crammed into a metropolis, doubling in size faster than anyone can plan for it. Factories belching black smoke. Railways tearing through medieval streets. In Hyde Park, the Crystal Palace filled with visitors marveling at the world's industry, Britain showing the globe what it has become. But cross the river to Lambeth and the streets flood with sewage when the tide runs high. Cholera killed thousands here just years ago. Entire families live in single rooms in crumbling tenements. London in 1850 is modern civilization at its most ambitious and its most savage, a city choking on its own success. Let's step inside. In 1800, London held barely 1 million people. By 1850, that figure has more than doubled. Every decade brings another 500,000. The city sprawls outward. Camberwell, Dalston, Paddington, swallowing farms and villages whole. Streets built for horse carts now carry industrial traffic. Workshops house steam-powered factories. The infrastructure groans. London doesn't slow down, it accelerates. The river tells you everything you need to know about what's happening here. Stand on Blackfriars Bridge in 1850 and count the chimneys. Gasworks, iron foundries, dye works, breweries, each one pumping smoke into the air, waste into the Thames. The water runs black with industrial runoff. On bad days, the smell makes you gag. This is the beating heart of the first industrial nation. Coal arrives by the barge load from Newcastle, iron from Wales, cotton from India and America. Raw materials flow in, manufactured goods flow out. London makes everything: textiles, machinery, chemicals, ships. The workshops of the world, all packed into a few square miles of riverfront property. The gasworks are everywhere. London discovered coal gas lighting in the 1820s. Now, massive gasometers dot the skyline. Iron cylinders 100 feet high, storing fuel for the lamps. At night, London glows. No other city has this many streetlights. But the same gas that lights streets poisons the air. The same coal that powers factories blackens buildings. Soot settles on everything. White stone turns grey. The railways are the other revolution happening right before everyone's eyes. Lines push into London from all directions, connecting the capital to Birmingham, to Bristol, to Edinburgh. The first stations appeared in the 1830s. Now there are terminals everywhere: King's Cross, Paddington, London Bridge. The railways don't ask permission. They carve through neighbourhoods, demolish whatever's in the way. Hundreds of families evicted to make room for tracks. Ancient churches torn down for station platforms. The railway companies have money and Parliament on their side. If your house is in the path, you move. But the trains also bring opportunity. Workers can live farther from their jobs. Goods move faster. Information travels at speeds that would have seemed impossible a generation ago. A letter from Manchester arrives the same day it's posted. Then there's the Crystal Palace. In May 1851, Queen Victoria opens the Great Exhibition in Hyde Park. The building itself is a marvel. 300,000 panes of glass held together by iron frames covering 19 acres. Joseph Paxton designed it. The same man who built greenhouses for the Duke of Devonshire now builds a greenhouse for the British Empire. Inside, the world comes to see what Britain has achieved. Steam engines, hydraulic presses, locomotives, the machinery that's reshaping civilization, all on display under one massive glass roof. 6 million people visit during the 5 months it's open. They come from across Britain, across Europe, across the world. The message is unmistakable. Britain leads. Everyone else follows. The Crystal Palace is Victorian confidence made visible. While other nations are still figuring out factories, Britain already owns the industrial future. The exhibition isn't just showing off technology, it's declaring supremacy. But walk 3 miles south to Lambeth and the picture changes. January 29, 1850, high tide on the Thames. The river breaches its banks at Lambeth Stairs. Sewage-contaminated water floods the streets. People wade through filth to reach their homes. This isn't a natural disaster. This is infrastructure failure. London's sewage system was designed for a city of 100,000, not 2.5 million. Every day, thousands of cesspools overflow. Every rain washes waste into the streets. The Thames isn't just a commercial waterway, it's London's sewer. People draw drinking water from the same river where raw sewage flows. Cholera is the consequence. 1849 saw an outbreak that killed 14,000 Londoners. The disease hits the poorest neighborhoods hardest, places where families share a single room, where water comes from a contaminated well, where there's no escape from the filth. Doctors still think bad air causes cholera. They haven't connected it to the water, not yet. The slums are where the other London lives. The London that doesn't visit the Crystal Palace or ride the new railways. The London that works 14-hour days in factories for wages that barely cover rent. Whitechapel, Bethnal Green, St Giles. These neighbourhoods pack people into conditions that would shock anyone who hasn't seen them. Entire families in rooms with no windows. Buildings subdivided again and again until there's barely space to stand. Courtyards that never see sunlight because the tenements block it out. Charles Dickens writes about this London. Henry Mayhew documents it in interviews with street sellers and mudlarks. Reformers push for change, but the slums keep growing because the people keep coming and there's nowhere else for them to go. The economics are brutal. A skilled worker earns 20 shillings weekly, rent costs 5, food another 10. Almost nothing left for clothes, coal, medicine. Fall sick and you're ruined. Women sew piecework. Children work factories from age 7. Families take lodgers to split rent. Everyone hustles to survive. Yet they stay, because even with all its failures, London offers something the countryside doesn't. Jobs exist here that don't exist elsewhere. Wages are higher. The city is cruel but alive. The paradox. The same city that builds the Crystal Palace lets Lambeth flood with sewage. The same nation leading industrial revolution can't house its workers. Extraordinary wealth. Thousands in squalor. The smoke, the sewage, the overcrowding, the disease. These aren't side effects of progress. They're the price London pays for moving faster than any city in history. And it's not slowing down. By 1860, 3 million. By 1900, 6 million. The railways will multiply. The slums will worsen before reform. Proper sewers won't come for another decade. This is the city at transformation. Before reforms, before regulations, before anyone understands what they've created. London choking on its own success, gasping for air, still charging into a future it's inventing as it goes.